What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Burndown YouTube channel. We are at it once again on the Bago. I was gonna say the Boom, so technically we're working on both, but today is a Bago video. And honestly, today should be, hopefully, the last like hard day, I'm gonna say, because today is converter day for the Twinnebago. Called all my friends, they're all here right now, ready to help me change a converter out. That was kind of a joke. That was a lame joke. Anyways, I am, however, going to get a transmission jack. So my buddy Jim said I could borrow his transmission jack, and then I can actually kind of sit up right, like underneath that. So it's not terrible, but it's still a 4L80E. It is a big boy part. The converter itself probably weighs more than me, but I told Ryan Jans because he was really cool. He sponsored my #1 fan, Kane. He got him his own spec converter for their truck, which was phenomenal because I'd basically kind of done a deal with them, and they got the one that was for the Twinnebago, so I could get them on the road and get them to LS Fest West. He one-upped me, gave them one spec for their car, so I got the one for the Twinnebago back, and the deal was, if I got it back, I'd put it in. And I've been avoiding it, I won't lie, because it sucks, and it's heavy, and it's hard work, but today is the day. And then before we get started with that, to top it off, we drove this yesterday. She did phenomenal. It's like 2,700 RPM, like 60 miles an hour on the freeway. Way better than like the 45, 50 we were going at the same RPM. So the new gears are phenomenal. They sound like they're ready to rock and roll. They're not whining like old coon dogs or anything. Although I got over like 60, got to like 70 where I just pushed the gas a little bit. I don't have a speedometer. I don't know how fast the car went, but it started doing one of these like it was gonna shake apart. And I'm assuming that his wheel balance, these could be flat spotted because they're bias plies and it sat for so long. But I feel like I would feel that at all times if it was flat spotted, because the whole thing would ride like that, not at speed. So I'm gonna take the rear wheels and tires off, which is a pain on this thing. And we'll take those over to get them balanced so they can do that during the day and call me whenever they're ready. And then while that's getting taken care of, we'll move the Bago. So we got to figure out and shimmy these cars around. I got to get those tires off, but we got to put this in a spot. I think this has to we end up having to do that like in the dirt, or maybe I can park it on the cement back there. So the Bago can live here because I want to work on the cement so I can roll the transmission back and forth without crushing myself. That'll be fun. So long-winded intro today. Thank you very much. We also passed 10,000 subscribers, so thank you to everybody who watches and follows along. Very cool. I don't know if you saw my plaque. I'm going to show you guys anyway. I'm going to show you because I'm really proud of this thing. My son made it for me. So here it is. 10,000 subs, baby. So if you didn't watch the video where I talked to everybody about this, you can go check it out. But very exciting stuff. All right, let's get to the actual video. And down to Struggle Street on the struggle bus on our way to Struggle Town. Let's go. All right, after having to do it multiple times, I kind of got a system down, so not quite as bad. To pull the wheels off that, got them loaded up, and then we're gonna head out to the shop to drop these off to balance them. We'll get the jack, and then maybe look for some fluid, and we will come back. We'll spend the remainder of the day under this lovely beast. All right, so that was a bit of an adventure. I went over to America's Tire and dropped these things off, and I want to share this with you. And a big shout out to Tyler and all the guys over at America's Tire over here in Norco for helping me out with this thing. But I walked in and I'm like, I need these things, the balance checked and then hopefully rebalanced. And I'm like, don't put your new guy on this because these need to actually be correct. So I walked in there and then it had these marks on it, right? And I asked them, I'm like, are these things out of balance or what? And they're really quick at doing it. I dropped them off, went and got the jack for the Twinnebago for the transmission, and they called me back and I was like, oh man, they put it on the balancer and those things are in balance, which I was worried about because that would mean I had like another issue. But I'm like, it's got to be tire balance anyway. So it was significant. The weights moved from this side to that side of the wheel, which tells me one of two things. Either it was balanced 100% incorrectly, which I don't really believe, or this thing is, the wheel is turning inside the tire. So this go around, we're gonna mark the wheel and tire on the outside so I can see if it's twisting, which I would imagine at the horsepower level we're starting to push it, it may actually be doing that. But this is a good sign to me because that tells me that was the violent hopping and thrashing that I was getting at like 70 miles an hour plus on the freeway. And then these lines, he was like, bro, you got a flat spot. So he put it on the machine, he turned it and you could see where it was a flat spot. He's like, oh, it's pretty bad. And I said, well, we'll just stir it up a little bit and do a smoky burnout, and then that thing will probably round itself out for the most part. But as long as it's not doing that violent hop like I felt yesterday, this will work itself out, right? So anyway, let's get on to what we're doing. But yeah, here's a bit on the tires. Big shout out to America's Tire. And okay, that's enough avoiding the inevitable. Let's crawl under this thing and be miserable for a little while. All right, here we are.
I got it.
I can actually fit in here. We're gonna get something to catch fluid. I'm gonna pull this out, and then we should be able to put the new one back in and then put it all back together. That should be that, but I'm sitting in transmission fluid right now. No fun. I might have transmission underwear. Maybe I'll be able to run faster with all that lube. Here are the twins. So this is the new one from Ryan Jans over at Tampa Bay Performance, and this is a full-on stock one. So they even have the BB stamping and all that. This is a stock size, stock everything. It's just, I want to say like a 2500 stall HD converter, so it's a tow package. So this is what, like a big boy truck or something, where some guy has his fancy boat or his craft he wants to tow around and he's got a Chevy 480. This would be your go-to, and then the next step from this is gonna be like a triple disc big boy. So I don't think we need to get there. We're gonna try this out. If this guy doesn't work out for me because we're moving a house, when I start towing and everything, we will upgrade to the big dog. But this one's stock. This has got to be miles better than stock. So we'll throw some fluid in. We'll get back on the struggle bus, get this thing back in and put her back together, and we're gonna be money. There it is. So it is in place, bolted up, cross members in, drive line, the shift linkage. So now we just got to button up the converter bolts, odds and ends, get everything zip tied off back where it was, put the starter back in, and then I got to pour a bunch of fluid in before I even turn this thing over. So, and then I actually have to go find fluid. I don't have enough fluid. So we'll get it buttoned up and I'll bring you guys back when it's running and we're dumping fluids in. All right, it is time to check the Bago. And I forgot my keys, but we got fluid in it. It's a little over on the dipstick, but I put fluid in the converter, but I didn't fill it all the way up. So I'm gonna run it, let the converter suck the fluid down, and then we'll triple check this a bunch. Maybe we can go for a little drive in a little bit after we get this situated. So let me get this all figured out, and then we'll take for a quick test drive around the block, see how she runs. Been playing the hokey pokey with putting fluids in this thing. If you have a 480E, they just eat a lot of fluid. You fill it up, you think it's good, and it's not. You have to keep cycling the gears, and then once you kind of get it to where it looks decent, you gingerly take it around the block. Real positive shifts. Like when I put it in gear, I want to make sure it's real positive. So we're just going to be gingerly with her. When I first tried to take off, there definitely wasn't enough fluid because it was like not too responsive. Now we're seeming to do much better. When you put it in gear, it jerks into gear. So there we go. Yeah, when I first drove it, it was a little sluggish. I was like, man, I don't know if that dude's grabbing. So all right, we're motivating. We're gonna treat her real gingerly, but yeah, you know, just cruising, moseying. We got the line temp up, fan temp about 150. Thing's been idling its face off in the driveway. It's pretty warm today, so all in all, I'm very happy with this thing. I just need to make sure all the fluids are there, make sure we're good to go. So let's do a little start, a little takeoff. Yeah, much better. So I can barely give it gas and it gets motivating. This is like a 2500 stall versus stock. It was stock. So I think we're good to go. Big shout out to Ryan Jans. We're gonna put this converter through its paces, and if this isn't the one we need, we'll go with the triple double dunker or whatever it is. But I think this is gonna do the trick. So I'm gonna keep my eye on the road, get it back home, check the fluid like 100 more times, and she's ready. We just gotta make this thing pretty now. You guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, share. Until next time.